This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego and welcome to another episode of AlexandraTV. In this week's episode, I will teach you how to become rich because yes, it is teachable and it is actually simpler than you think. Becoming rich is a state of mind. Being rich is a state of mind. Actually, I think that everything starts with the mind really. In order to manifest anything into your reality, it first has to begin inside of you. In the mind. You see, you don't need to have 3 college degrees or to be born in a wealthy family or to win the lottery in order to be rich. No, you can be self-made. You can do it yourself. And many people have done it before. So why can't you? So in this week's episode, I will share with you what are the steps that you have to take in order to become rich. So I'm pretty sure you want to learn what those steps are. So let's begin. First of all, know your worth. Know your worth. Know what it is that you bring to the table. With all the talents, knowledge, abilities that you have, what do you think you are worth? You know, if I ask you right now, do you deserve to have a salary like most people have in the world per year, or should you have something more than that? If you're saying that you want to make, let's say, $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, well, why? Why? What do you bring to the table? What can you bring into this world that is worth that amount of money? You see, the world will give you exactly what you are worth. So take a look at how much you're making right now in your life. That's what you're worth right now. If you want to increase that, well, you're going to have to increase your knowledge, your abilities, your talents. You're going to have to work on yourself and on what you know in order to receive more from the universe and from the world. It's so simple, yet most people don't understand this. The second one, very similar to the first one, is just to increase your value. If you want to make more money, you're going to have to increase your value. So work on yourself, work on what you know, work on your knowledge, work on your talents, your abilities. That's why people go to school. That's why people go to universities unconsciously without even knowing it. They're going because they need to increase their value. And by learning more things, it's not the piece of paper, it's not the diploma. That's what society thinks. But at the end of the day, that paper, it's worth nothing. At the end of the day, it's what you have learned during the time that you were at school that increases your value, therefore makes you earn more money, right? So if you study to become a doctor, that piece of paper, yes, of course, it's your diploma, but at the end of the day, it's what you've learned that allows you now to earn a higher salary to become a doctor and to be able to work as a doctor, right? If you received just the paper and you didn't go through the years of school and university and in college, well, you wouldn't be able to be a doctor, right? You wouldn't be able to get that salary, the higher salary that doctors get. So you have to really increase your value, and you don't need, like I said, to go to school. A lot of people choose that path, but there's other paths to increase your value and to become a valuable person. I once heard that in all industries, in all fields, the person who has and adds more value is the one that gets paid the most. Think about it. Think about all industries in the world, and it's usually the person that adds more value that gets paid more. So if you want to become rich, well, increase your value. The third one is one of my favorite quotes. It's to have the things that others don't. You will have to do the things that others won't. So in order to become rich, there are certain things that other people that are not rich don't do that you're going to have to do. Perhaps you're going to have to work more. Perhaps you're going to have to learn more. You're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to work on yourself. Take a look at the things that people do when they, let's say, earn $30,000 a year or $40,000 a year. Those people work from 9 to 5. They go back home. They watch TV from 6 to 9. Then they go to bed and they desperately wait for the weekend. If you do that, you will continue to earn $30,000 or $40,000 a year. If you want to go up in the 6 figures, well, you're going to have to stop doing those things and start doing other things. Take a look, like I said, at what they do and stop doing those things and start working hard, start investing, like I said, in yourself and start doing the things that others don't to have the things that others won't. The fourth one is you need to stick to it. So don't start by saying, okay, if in the next 6 months I don't become rich, well, I'm just going to give up and continue earning $30,000 a year for the rest of my life. No, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It can take years. My first year in business, I made $4,000 in an entire year. And a person who is normal would have said, okay, this is not working, let me give up. But thank God I didn't give up. I knew that I had potential. I knew I could do it. And I continued working hard. And even even though it might be crazy to continue working hard when all you made is 4,000, at the end of the day, like I said, today it is worth it. And I realized that sticking to it, saying, no, I want to become rich and I'm going to create a wealthy life for myself was the best decision I've ever made. And finally, the fifth step, and I think that this is more on the technical side, and I will share a lot more of these techniques, important techniques, in my new audio learning program, Rich, which will be released on November 1st. So if you want to have more information about concrete strategies and techniques on how to become rich, well, you can definitely go check it out on November 1st on my website, AlexandraVillarroel.com. But I think that this step is really the first concrete and important step towards creating a life of riches. I remember for me, when I first started my business and coaching, I used to do a lot of one-on-one coaching. That's all I did really, until I realized that exchanging my time for money was not going to make me rich. Why? Because there's a certain limited amount of hours that we can work in a week, right? So if I continued to exchange my time for money, there was going to be a limit to how much I could make, right? So how much I could earn. So that's why a few years ago, I started to create audio learning programs, online trainings. I started to create products that would generate money constantly without me having to be there, right? If you go on my website right now, AlexandraVillarroel.com, and you go on the shop page, you're going to see that there's about 15 products and services and programs. And those 15, I think there's more even, when I'm sleeping, I'm making money, right? There's people around the world who are purchasing those programs and products. I don't need to do anything. Let's say for an audio learning program, it's going to take me about 15 hours to create it from A to Z. But after that, I am constantly making money. I wake up in the morning and I have notifications on my phone that how much I earned the night before, right? All the orders that I received. So that is why it's so important to create passive income, to create also multiple sources of income. All those products that I have, they create multiple sources of income for me, and passive income, which means that I can be on a vacation and still make money. I no longer have to exchange my time for money. And that is the beginning of creating riches, is the beginning of creating a life of abundance and fortune and wealth. Like I said, if you want to have more information about those concrete steps that I took and that a lot of other people, not only in my industry, but in a lot of other industries, have taken to create a life of riches, well, you can go check it out on November 1st. It's going to be on my online store. It's going to be called Rich, the audio learning program. So that is it for this week's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. In the comments down below, let me know, how much do you think you're worth? And why? So how much do you think you're worth and why? It's so important. And then write, what can you do to increase your value this year? So not only in this year, but the next year that's coming. So in the next few months, what do you think you can do to increase your value? It's so important. I will see you next week. Did you like this video? If so, here's 3 very simple things that I want you to do. First of all, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel because you get free videos every single week. So of course you don't want to miss that. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to go on my website, AlexandraVillarroel.com, and subscribe also to my email list, because every week I send you content by email that you don't see here on Alexandra TV, but it's free content with coaching techniques, strategies, so you don't want to miss that either. And the third thing that I want you to do is I want you to share this video. Share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, email it to a friend, or even call a friend and say you need to go watch this. As Maya Angelou once said, when you learn, teach. So everything that you learned today, make sure you share it and you teach it to someone. I look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of Alexandra TV. And until then, don't forget to love life, others, and yourself.